Welcome to Lessons in Leadership. Steve Addabado here with my colleague and co-anchor and executive producer, Mary Gamba. Mary, how are we doing today?
Doing really good. I'm actually just kind of giggling. I remember a time many months ago when we were in studio together and we could actually see one another. And I think at this point it's been about 5 months since we've physically seen one another, but
I know.
we haven't missed a beat.
But I have picked up the fact that you are wearing, for the first time, a new outfit that has not been seen on Lessons in Leadership. Can you confirm this?
That is confirmed, but I hope this isn't the first time I've had on a new outfit, but a new color, that's for sure.
Yeah, what I do is just keep the same. You're right. Thank you, Mary.
But yes, we need to rise above, and I would
Right.
like to rise above. I'm going to take control of this situation, and you're going to be out. I'm going to throw to an amazing interview that you did with Dr. Joe Marbach. He's the president of Georgian Court University. And then we'll take a minute just to come back on the back end of it. So stay tuned for Dr. Marbach.
For folks who want to know and understand leadership better than we do right now, and I'm one of them, constantly trying to learn as a student of leadership, we have Dr. Joseph Marbach, president of Georgian Court University. Joe, good to see you, my friend.
Great to see you, Steve. Thank you.
So here's the question. You've talked political leadership as a political scientist. You understand leadership of all sorts. You're a leader right now dealing with incredibly difficult issues around COVID-19. As we do this interview mid-June, biggest leadership lesson you have learned to date about leading in this pandemic is?
Surround yourself with experienced and expert individuals that you can rely on and trust their judgment. No one person can do it on their own. And if you try to micromanage in this kind of environment, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Get good people and empower them to do their jobs.
How challenging has it been to lead, quote, remotely?
It's been a bit of a challenge, but because of technology, we've been able to overcome that. And I actually see people a lot more frequently than I did when I was in the office. So
really,
yeah, I've spent hours on hours at my desk talking to the machine like this and learning about people and learning what they're up to. So I've actually been much more accessible through the technology. So it's been a learning experience for me, but one that I think I benefited tremendously from.
I'm going to get a little technical with you, Joe. You know, I teach and coach around the area of communication and presentation, a big part of the leadership equation. And what's so interesting is that just running meetings, right? You got a Zoom meeting. You and I are doing this via Zoom right now as part of Lessons in Leadership. And just the idea of running a meeting or presenting in a meeting and the ability to look in a camera, what people don't realize is I'm looking at the camera right now. Dr. Marbach is about 4 or 5 inches below, his image is several inches below the camera. He's doing the same thing. So here's the question. In terms of leadership and its connection to presentation and communication, Dr. Marbach, how important is it to get more comfortable communicating with this medium?
I think it's the key, Steve, because the people you're talking to are going to take their cues from the individual. And, you know, I've had tremendous benefits of the experience of working with you in the past, of being familiar with this media, or this medium and the media in general. So it's allowed me to get comfortable in front of a camera. And in fact, I've gotten a few of the jobs that I hold because of that comfort level.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Joe. Right now, I'm looking in the camera. That's making direct eye contact with our audience and with you. But if I were to look at you, this is what it would look like. And the reason I'm harping on this is because I see people running meetings as leaders, and they're looking in the wrong place. And someone says, what's the difference where I'm looking? Well, it makes all the difference in the world if people can't see your eyes. Am I making too much of that?
No, absolutely. Or if the lighting's not quite right, or if they're in shadows, or even if they're not presentable. I mean, people are looking at what you're wearing, and if there's distractions, then you take away from your message. So you really do have to set up in a quiet spot. And I'm fortunate I have a home office that I'm able to work in. We're very fortunate the dog hasn't started barking, and she's right.
Ours was doing it 10 minutes ago, but go ahead.
Yeah, but
you think people are more not just forgiving, but understanding, Dr. Marbach, of all the things going on in our homes?
I think so. It's also given us a little insight into how people live. And I'm always amazed when someone's in the bedroom and they're setting up for a meeting and
Oh, stop, Joe. Hold on one second. You were talking about people who sometimes go to a meeting or present in a meeting out of their bedroom?
Yeah, because that's the only quiet room in the house.
I shouldn't laugh because you're right. Everyone's got a different situation. I shouldn't be, that was pretty callous of me. People are where they have to be, where they can be, right?
Absolutely. And some people are fortunate, as I said, like me, to have a home office. Other people have been going outside because of this beautiful weather. So, but still you get an insight into where people live and how they surround themselves. So I've found it very enlightening with the people I've been working with.
Last question on leadership. I think I've said this to you before, but it's one of the chapters in my book, Lessons in Leadership. It's the chapter is simply called Great Leaders Sometimes Piss People Off. And that comes from a quote from General Colin Powell in an interview I did with him about 15 years ago. And he said, Steve, sometimes great leaders make tough decisions and they piss people off. So my question to you is, particularly in these challenging times with budgets and revenue and all the fear and anxiety and the uncertainty, we have to make tough calls. We'll get people less than happy with us. Do you think much about that, or you just do what you have to do?
I do what I have to do. My mother told me when I first took an administrative position, she said, well, you know, people aren't going to like you anymore. And it kind of comes with the territory. It wasn't about being liked. And I know I'm not the most popular guy on campus because we've had to go through a series of cuts and expense reductions. But at the end of the day, the survival and the thriving of Georgian Court is what's driving me. And people will come out on the other end much better than they were before. So we're asking for short-term sacrifices, and we're listening to people too, Steve. We're not just making arbitrary decisions. We're listening to people. When we had the unrest of a couple weeks ago with protests in the streets, our students of color were feeling really at risk and vulnerable. And one of the first things I did was set up a Zoom meeting. 130 people, students, faculty, staff, got online to just talk about their experience, what they were feeling, and what they wanted Georgian Court to do. And we've taken action to expand diversity and inclusion on campus as a direct result of listening to people.
Listening, one of the number one traits of being a great leader. Finally, leadership can be lonely. And I'm not crying the blues. I'm just saying, sometimes in the end, you make that call, you make that decision. If you think everyone's going to like it or it's going to be popular, you're sadly mistaken. But I'll get off my soapbox. Dr. Joe Marbach is the president of Georgian Court University. Joe, thank you for your friendship and your insight and your advice over the years. All the best, Joe.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate all the work you're doing, too.
Hey, that was Joe Marbach from Georgian Court University. Mary, what I loved was he said his mother told him when he took an administrative position, quote, you know, people won't like you anymore.
So true, so true. Those words are, it's unfortunate and fortunate. You're not always going to be popular when you're a leader. You need to make tough choices, but you need to definitely get a thick skin because not everybody's going to like you.
And I'll tell you who we like. Check this segue out. We like our sponsors. They are.
We do. Wow. We love our sponsors. We have Gibbons PC law firm. We have Prager Metis. We have Valley Bank, the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 825, and our newest sponsor, the Downs Strategic Leadership Institute, which is all about leadership.
And by the way, that Downs Strategic Leadership Institute, named after its creator, Larry Downs, our good friend. Talk about a great leader. He'll be joining us on a later edition, future edition of Lessons in Leadership. I'm Steve Adubato. That's Mary Gamba. As you can tell, she cuts me off when I need to. And then Elvin Badger says in the chat room, hey, Steve, just say goodbye. Goodbye, folks. We'll see you next time.
This is Mary Gamba. If you want more leadership tips and tools, log on to stand-deliver.com. That's stand-deliver.com.
This edition of Lessons in Leadership is brought to you by Gibbons PC, Prager Metis, Valley Bank, and the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 825.